Hey guys, in this video I'm going to attempt to answer the question, how much does it cost to build a website? The answer of course is it depends. At Skyhook we've built sites for as little as $10,000 or as much as $250,000, so it really does depend. But in order to try to give you a good answer to this question, I'm going to tell you some of the bigger things on which it depends. Number one, what's the type of site? Is it a template site? Is it a custom site? Is it an e-com site? Is it a full-blown application? And does it have any kind of advanced integrations? So a template site is a site where we literally go and buy a pre-made website and attempt to customize it to fit your needs. Those sites are going to typically run in the $7,000 to $15,000 range. Is it a custom site? A custom site is where we literally get a designer, blank sheet of paper, and try to create something very custom and specific to you. It's a more expensive process because there's rounds of creative revision and whatnot. Custom sites can start at $15,000, $20,000, but they can honestly go up into $50,000, $60,000, even $100,000, depending on how many pages and how intricate they are. Is it an e-commerce site? Right out of the gate, it's really hard to get a solid e-commerce site for less than about $20,000, I would say, and many could be much more. It's going to depend on how many products you have, how much content there is to be loaded on, and any interactions that need to be made with a back-end accounting system or with a shipping provider or with a payment gateway, so on and so forth. If it's a full-on application, I would almost not call it a website. So you think of something like Facebook, it's technically a web page, but really it's a whole web application. And if you've got portals where people are logging in and taking tests and generating reports and things like that, it's really not accurate, I would say, to call it a website. It's more of an application. Those are going to be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 minimum. Could be $250,000 or much more, depending, of course, on what the application does. And then again, those advanced integrations, right? So if your website's just a standalone marketing piece, or does it connect to a CRM? Does it connect to an applicant tracking system? Does it connect to an accounting system? Those kinds of things are going to drive the cost up substantially. Number two, who's building it? When you're getting a website built, you can go to a freelancer or a very small team, someone working out of their house probably. That's the cheapest route to go. However, it is risky because they may not be there again in another month or year to support you, and they may be only good at one portion of it. Maybe they're a graphic designer and they build really beautiful sites, but they're not a programmer, so now your site has bugs and things like that in it. But that's the cheapest route to go. You can go to a small shop like Skyhook, which is a team of people who have kind of banded together to try to deliver work at a cost-effective price. Or you can go to a full-service agency. Much larger advertising agencies do build websites. They tend to be $50,000 and above, and they do a whole bunch of other things besides just websites, but that is technically another route you can go. Point number three, what is the scope? Are you having your website development company do the entire project for you? Are they just doing different parts of it? And the thing to ask yourself here is, what parts of it do you want to do? A client who comes already providing all of their content and all of their strategy and literally just needs graphic design help is different than a client who comes and says, we don't know the first thing about this. We want you guys to write the content. We want you to shoot the video. We want you to take the pictures, so on and so forth. Also, post-launch support. Are you expecting the agency to be around to help update the site, maintain it, add to it, or is this kind of a one-and-done project? That's going to impact your cost. And finally, what kind of risk and guarantees are you sharing with the agency? So a lot of web development agencies are just basically work for hire. You pay them an hourly rate, they work on the site. If you want them to work more, you pay them more hours, they work on the site some more. Some agencies are more fixed fee, which is starting to share that risk with you if the project goes long. They're assuming some of the risk of that. However, because they're assuming risk, their cost is going to be just a little bit higher. At Skyhook, we like to look for as many opportunities as we can to share that risk with our customers. So oftentimes we'll do things like, hey, if the website doesn't convert at a certain percentage, or if users are on the website and we survey them and they're getting confused and not finding what they're looking for, you either don't pay us or you pay us a lesser amount. These are the kinds of things that we'll do to take on the risk of the project to kind of put our money where our mouth is. But of course, the price ends up being a little bit higher if you're sharing that kind of risk with your agency. So there are a lot of other factors that go into pricing, but these are the big ones. If you're thinking about hiring a web developer, be sure to check out our article on a better way to hire a marketing agency. And that will give you some tips on how to conduct your search. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or to leave them in the comments section below.